I've been an iPhone user for nearly 10 years now, and recently I made one of my annual attempts to jump ship to Android and see what I'm missing out on. But before we can know where we're going, we have to know where we're at, and that's the Apple ecosystem. This ecosystem promises unparalleled convenience, but it does so silently at the cost of freedom of choice. So an ecosystem in the world of tech is basically a collection of devices that are designed to work well in cohesion with one another. Take a picture on your iPhone and it magically appears on your Mac. Your AirPods know which device you're using and will switch between them for audio. Control your TV with your iPad, connect your AirPods to your Apple Watch, and you're off for a bike ride. The list goes on and on. Okay, that's all fine and dandy, but Apple's not the only company doing something like this. What do other ecosystems have to offer? So this isn't just a tech channel. My family and I are on a two-part mission. First, to provide high-quality, free videos to nonprofits doing amazing work for great people. And second, by building up our family homestead so that we can provide food, resources, and knowledge to underserved individuals in underserved communities around our area. And every view, like, and subscription helps us get one step closer to achieving that goal and serving the people around us. So thank you for subscribing, thank you for watching, and thank you for being a part of this with us. In the Android ecosystem, you can use whatever devices you want with one another. I can use a Pixel watch with whatever watch or phone that I'd like, even whatever refrigerator I want to use. And sure, you can use lots of different Bluetooth devices with your iPhone, take a Garmin for instance, but that experience is just not going to be as feature-rich and awesome as it would be as using something like an Apple Watch with your iPhone would be. Switching out to an Android would give me that flexibility to be able to use whatever tools I would like for my life and my work. And anyone that's done this switch already knows exactly where I'm headed next.
Is iMessage.
Oh yeah, grab a fork because I'm about to serve you the meat and potatoes of this video. iMessage is legitimately one of the biggest social experiments of our time. Nobody knows what RCS is, and it sucks. But I'm over it. Now, Apple doesn't stop you from leaving. They just really don't go out of their way to make it easy for you to walk away. I spent an entire week trying to get my freaking phone number detached from iMessage. Oh, but don't worry, Apple provides an extremely robust website to be able to help you detach your phone number from iMessage. If you can get the site to work. I had to wave a magic wand, perform a whole song and dance ritual, and disconnect from my Wi-Fi to be able to access the site to be able to use it appropriately because they were recognizing my home IP and intentionally nerfing the website. It's a weird thing.
Make you want to kick a fat kid at Kmart.
After all that, phone number still wasn't disconnected, but don't worry, I was able to talk to their amazing tech support. And they verified for me that my phone number was in fact disconnected from iMessage. It wasn't.
You can't keep me cooped up in here, okay? I am a peacock! You gotta let me fly!
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
I spent an entire week missing messages from important people like my wife, clients, customers trying to set up meetings and do business. From their side, I just completely fell off the face of the earth. And from my side, blissfully unaware that anyone was trying to get a hold of me at all, I dove into the plethora of features that Android has to offer to see what it would offer me to make my life and work better. Wow, I'm so blissfully unaware of anyone trying to get a hold of me at all. Time to dive into the plethora of features that Android has to offer me and see if it will make my life and work better. There was nothing that I found that benefited or increased my life and my workflow. Oh my goodness, I know. He said that there's nothing that Android provides him that makes his life better. He's a complete moron. What a complete idiot. Okay, there was one good thing. Scheduled text messages. On my iPhone, I can schedule a blue bubble and iMessage, sure. But try to schedule a green bubble? No. Can't do that. So on Android, I very much appreciated being able to schedule a text message. But after a week, you know something? I really started to miss the simplicity of my iPhone and the cohesion of the Apple ecosystem. I'm really starting to miss the simplicity of my iPhone and the cohesion of the Apple ecosystem. And it's a lot of things. I run my life and my business on Apple reminders, calendar, notes, and Siri, and I rely on all of it working together in cohesion to run my life and my business. So switching that entire thing over to Google was really an exercise in futility, doing something, fixing something that wasn't really broke. The ability to AirDrop to my Mac or copy and paste anything from my iPhone to my Mac was missing. Finding a third-party workaround for all these things was frustrating and wasting my time, honestly. And I was so used to writing scripts and writing Apple Notes and the continuity there, I didn't want to go back to something like Notion with its complexity and databases. I love the simplicity of Apple Notes. Heck, even half of this script was written from my iPhone on the toilet. What's up? And as a guy with wife and kids and priorities, it wasn't really cool of me to be spending so much time and energy on this piece of metal and plastic in my hand, tweaking, setting up, configuring, fixing something that is broke, supposedly broke, to replicate and duplicate what I already had, what had been working. That just didn't make sense. Then along comes a random guy on the internet to rescue me that helped me see this clearly, on Reddit. But he said this: the iPhone is boring, yes, but it's not making me actively unhappy. And that really hit home for me because my experience on the Android, on the Galaxy S25 Ultra, was actually the opposite. I was actively unhappy with that phone and with that experience, but I sure wasn't bored because there was always something to do and tweak and set up. And I know that the setup ends eventually. And it's truly the old, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so what I found is being bored on the iPhone is okay. And I'm still bored on the iPhone, but that's okay because it works. I'm not actively unhappy. There is a difference. So I made the difficult decision to pursue peace in my workflow and in my life. I put my eSIM back in my iPhone. And I was immediately flooded with all the messages that I had missed while I was gone. Okay, all those things are actually legitimate if you do want to leave Apple's walled garden, and I understand if you do. Android is still awesome. It's really cool. For me though, I've actually embraced staying, and here's why. So I actually prefer iOS because of the lack of decision fatigue and for the premium software experience when it comes to all the apps and continuity. Most other systems, you have to pay to get software this good. When you're talking password management, note-taking, reminders, calendar integration, all of these integral parts to iOS that are just free with the barrier to entry being the price of the device, it's free to use and it works with your devices. That's part of the essential stickiness and cohesiveness to this ecosystem, and I like it. And the good news is I still utilize Google for my workflow a lot. And the app experience that I get on iPhone and iOS is largely the same that I would get on Android. The apps are no different. Functionality is all the same. In fact, they're even better supported on the iPhone. And so I'm not missing anything by continuing to utilize Google and my iPhone. By jumping into Android, I'm cutting off the functionality that I had grown accustomed to and used to and utilizing from the Apple ecosystem and solely embracing the Google side. But on iPhone, I can actually have both. Even on my iPhone 16e, I've mapped my action button to launch Gemini Live. So I have Siri on this side and I have Gemini Live on this side. And so I can interface with Siri in the Apple ecosystem with one button push, and then another button push, I can jump into Gemini and interface with my work and documentation and emails, just like I would on an Android phone that's connected to Google Assistant or Gemini. That's pretty cool. That's something that I can't do on Android that I get access to on iOS. So, are you trapped or are you empowered by the ecosystem? The answer will vary from person to person, and it may change depending on what season of your life you're in. But for me right now, the Apple ecosystem is empowering. It's simple, it's efficient, it's everywhere across my life. I don't have to think about the tools that I'm using, and that's awesome for me. But that Samsung ecosystem though, I mean, it looks pretty good.